An AI agent is not free, and the part everyone obsesses over, the token usage, is the smallest line on the bill. The real cost is hiding elsewhere. Today I'm going to build an actual cost per task model on screen. The total is going to be higher than you expect, and it's still probably going to be worth it. Let me show you the math nobody shows you. This is how the conversation usually goes. Someone says AI is basically free. Look how cheap the tokens are. And on the other side, someone says agents are expensive, don't bother. Both are wrong, both are guessing, because nobody actually calculates the fully loaded cost per completed task. And that's the only number that actually allows you to compare an agent to the human that it's replacing. This matters more in 2026 than ever. Spending on agentic AI has exploded, and a lot of that money is going into projects with no economic unit behind them. Analysts are already warning that majority of the agentic projects currently will be cancelled in the next few years. And the top reason is the rising costs and the unclear value. You avoid being in the statistic by doing one thing: knowing your cost per task before you scale. When I audit stalled projects, we never calculated the actual cost. Is one of the most common problems. So let's calculate it. Cost per task has 6 line items. Watch how the small one is the one that everyone fixates on. The first one is the tokens. This is the input plus output per task. It's real, but usually small. For typical text tasks, we're usually talking about a cent, maybe even sometimes a fraction of that. Let's say 2 cents a task. Everyone stops here, don't. Line 2 is retries and failures. Agents don't succeed on the first try every time. They take wrong turn. They call a tool, fail, and call it again. So your real tokage limit might be 1.5 to 3 times the happy path number. Multiply line 1 accordingly, and suddenly 2 cents is 5. Line 3, the big one, human review and approval. Especially early on, a human approves or rejects early outputs. If a person spends maybe say 2 minutes reviewing a task and their fully loaded cost is illustratively $1 a minute, that's suddenly $2 a task. Look at that, the review line just dwarfed the token line by 100 to 1. This is where the real cost lives, and it's exactly the line that everyone forgets. Line 4 is the oversight and QA. Someone has to monitor quality over time, spot check, catch drift, handle escalations, spread across all tasks. Maybe it adds a few cents to a few dimes each time. Small per task, real in aggregate. Line 5 is the error and reworks cost. When the agent is wrong and it slips past review, what does that cost? A redone task, unhappy customer, occasionally something worse. And you estimate it by error rate times cost per error. Even a low rate on a high stake task changes the maths. Line 6, build and maintenance. The integration, the monitoring, the updates every time a model changes is a fixed-ish cost. Divide it by the number of tasks. At 10 tasks a month, it's a brutal per task. At 50,000 a month, it rounds to nothing, which is the whole point. Agents only make economic sense at volume. Let's total an illustrative one together. A support reply task, tokens with retries, let's say about 5 cents. Human review at estimated 2 minutes is $2. Oversight, let's say about 10 cents. Error allowance at 15 cents. And amortized build at decent volume, let's say 20 cents. So let's call it roughly $2.50 per task. And now the comparison. The human version of that task, 8 minutes fully loaded might be $6, $7, even $8. So the agent is cheaper, but not the tokens are basically free cheaper. It's cheaper because it compresses human time, it does not eliminate it. And here's the kicker. As you build trust and drop review time from about 2 minutes, let's say to 30 seconds, that $2.50 can drop to $1 per task. Agent gets cheaper over time as the human in the loop shrinks. That curve is the actual business case. 3 mistakes that actually wreck the math. 1, quoting only the token use cost. You just saw it's the least important line. 2, deploying at low volume. If you're doing 50 tasks a month, the amortized build actually crushes you. Wait until you have a high volume workflow. 3, assuming the review time stays high forever, or cutting it to 0 on day 1. Plan the glide path. High review early. Lower it deliberately as trust increases. Do this before you deploy anything. 1, pick the workflow and count the monthly task volume. 2, estimate all 6 lines. Yes, including the review time. it's the big one. 3. Calculate your current cost per task completion for comparison. Only greenlight if the agent's fully loaded cost beats you at your baseline at volume, with room for the build to amortize. If it doesn't, you just saved yourself from becoming a cancellation statistic. Lesson under the math: agents don't replace cost, they reshape it. You're trading a big variable human review cost for a smaller variable compute plus review cost, and at a fixed build cost. That trade is great at value for repetitive work and terrible at low volume, high judgment work. Cost per task is a tool that tells you which is which before you spend big. I build the exact spreadsheet I just used, all 6 lines, the baseline comparison, the glide path for my clients. If you want me to run through it with you on a real workflow, that's what my 45-minute audit is for. No pitch. Tokens are cheap. Tasks are not. Know the difference before you scale. It's the number that separates the agents that get funded from the ones that get cancelled.